Hey baddie, it's me Felix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm teaching you how to ultimately feminize your face with the help of the right makeup techniques and products. And before we get into this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so you won't miss out on another helpful upload. And keep in mind, this is an updated version of my previous video that you really liked, and the skin is very natural. The makeup feels really light on your skin. So I really do hope this video is going to be helpful and valuable. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Your first and the most important step to achieve the feminization of your face starts with skincare. And I sound like a broken record, but this is truly so crucial to how the result will actually end up. And I do have some recommendations. In this video, I really tried my best to pick as much drugstore products as possible, but when it comes to skincare and some powders, I just can't recommend something that I personally wouldn't use. And for skincare, I have two amazing options that unfortunately are not drugstore, but are really worth the money and are amazing with all the makeup products. The first one is for extremely dry skin. This is especially great if you shave and you don't have any kind of laser hair removal process going on. This is the Embryo Release Moisturizer with Aloe Vera. It is amazing. It is so soothing and calming. If you have oily skin or you just prefer more of a hydrating layer that's not so thick, I have the Estee Lauder Moisturizer and the Estee Lauder Eye Cream. Both products are from the Day Wear line. For summer, I prefer the Estee Lauder over Embryo Release because it is lighter in texture and in formula, and you really don't need a lot of product, because a little goes a very long way. If you're trying to feminize your face, moisturizing this step is so important because a feminine skin looks soft and feels soft. And when you are moisturizing your face, you are allowing all of the following makeup products to just glide on your skin. And if you don't use any kind of moisturizer, or if you skip this step, everything has a higher potential of looking muddy, looking patchy, and the application process itself will feel and look rough. You can't neglect your under eye skincare because with makeup, when we're layering different products and powders, it can quickly dry up this area because your skin on your under eyes is the thinnest. So it's really important it is moisturized and nourished properly. After moisturizing, when you touch your skin should feel slightly wet. And when I touch my beard, kind of lower third of my face, I can feel that it's not hydrated enough. So I'm going back in with the Estee Lauder moisturizer and I'm just gonna reapply some more. And we're being quite generous because I can feel my skin has been really dry. Even though I have a year and a half of laser treatments, my facial hair is still strong. So, it doesn't want to go away and I have to shave every day. And I've just been having a lot of events and stuff like that. So yeah, this is necessary. Because you want to achieve a feminine result, the before steps are usually maybe even more important than the makeup application itself. And what creates a feminine face and what I see just as an observer, as a makeup artist, or just in general, the brows have to be trimmed, clean, and neat. So a regular brow routine, a brow plucking routine is a necessity. And usually a feminine shape has more of an arch and the whole brow is higher and the ratio between the eye and the brow is much higher than a masculine result. And I know in some cases that's not possible. So with whatever cards you're dealt with, you can make your best by plucking your eyebrows, but do not over pluck. And if you don't feel confident in doing so, visit a professional to achieve a feminine and clean result. So we have a great starting base. So now that our skin is moisturized and our brows are ready, we can proceed to the first and so important makeup steps. Now, every feminine look, when you think about a feminine result, of femininity, we think about glowy, healthy, soft skin. And this is where usually all the makeup tutorials on YouTube or short film content, in my opinion, are wrong, because for real life experience, for everyday wear, you don't want to have a heavy makeup base. You don't want to feel like you're wearing a mask. You just want to upgrade with whatever you already have and create and elevate that base. So we want our skin to glow. We want our skin to feel and look radiant. So this step is way more important than any step. And we are not going for the full coverage makeup look. We are going with, and we're focusing on accentuating what feminine traits and parts our anatomy and we already possess. So the glow and to glow is the key element. And here are some amazing drugstore products that we are going in with today. The first one for sure is the Catrice Soft Glam Filter Fluid. This is basically a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter dupe. And I've been praising this product for a few years and I haven't changed it because it is that amazing. During the summer, I switched between the shades light to medium and fair. Now, another thing when it comes to glowy products, if you shave, if you have those razor bumps, and if your texture is not like flawless or perfect, which usually no one's is, you wanna use glowy products. But if glowy products have chunks of glitter, this will only accentuate pores, any imperfections, razor bumps, and your skin will not result in a soft looking effect. So this product is purely liquid and it doesn't have these chunks of glitter. So that's why you're gonna love this product. Every product is listed down below in the description box, so feel free to check that out as always. In order to properly feminize your face, you wanna really strategically place this product. So you wanna apply this Catrice fluid on the highest points of your cheekbone, where it would usually just naturally reflect light. So this is the application. Then you want to accentuate the middle of your chin, right above the lip, your cupid's bow, and the forehead. A common misconception is that this will look sweaty or oily, but it's quite the opposite. This will result in more of a natural look, because if we have a lot of powders and a lot of layers of makeup on our foreheads, when we are using our faces to mimic surprise or anger or whatever emotions, with too many layers going on, everything will be accentuated and it will just look like a lot of makeup. So you really want to avoid applying too much makeup on your forehead. Whenever we're highlighting, we're basically creating and highlighting that specific area, but what we're also doing is, for the observer's eye, we're bringing that feature forward, closer to their eye. So if you have like maybe more of a robust nose, and if you highlight the bridge of the nose, if it's not soft, this will only project it forward. And in the opposite case, if you don't have enough volume in your cheekbone to appear more feminine, you want to highlight that. So we're basically bringing that forward. So when you're applying and highlighting, just be mindful of that fact of how your face will be perceived for the observer's eyes. But this is truly an amazing product and I love to use it on my collarbone, on my neck, because a glowy skin will always look amazing. And you want to blend that out with a big fluffy brush. This will just make things go away faster. And use tapping motions. So you keep the product where we placed it strategically in that area. And now your skin will look so glowy, so healthy. And we are not done with the glowy products. Another one that you're gonna love is the L'Oreal Glotion, Lumi Glotion. It also comes in a few shades. This has a slight pink shade, so we are going to use it like a pre-blush kind of glow. You don't want to exaggerate with this product because it does have some chunks of glitter. So if you have a lot of texture or acne, I would avoid this product at all costs because it will accentuate. But if you don't have any issues, just feel free to apply. You just want to blend it on your hand first and then apply it on the apples of your cheeks like so. This is just like a pre kind of glow for our blush, so we add dimension to our face like so. So glowy, so healthy. Besides the goal of feminizing your face today, another goal that I have for you to make your life easier is for your makeup to last, for your products to last, for the everyday wear to be as comfortable and as efficient as possible. This is another drugstore product from Essence. It's called What a Tint, and it's basically a lip tint. And we are adding some flush of color to our lips, which, first of all, it's gonna feminize our face because with the applicator itself, we can really define our lip shape. You can overline or you can just follow your natural line. But what we're also doing with that, when we're gonna apply lipstick and lip liner later at those final stages of our makeup tutorial, throughout the day when we're gonna eat or drink or talk or kiss, underneath we're still gonna have a layer of lip tint, a layer of makeup, some sort of a protective layer from our natural color, which in my case is like non-existent. So this is just like a great hack to prolong our makeup and to make it as long wearing as possible. The baby wipe, after 30 seconds, you just swipe everything off and you have a nice flush of color. Another amazing step, an important step, is priming. This will just prolong our makeup. This one from Milani is amazing, but if you have sensitive skin, it can tingle your skin quite a bit, or if you are shaving your face and you would do your makeup right after shaving, this could be a little not so great for your skin. So I would go in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer or something more just soft for sensitive skin. But this truly is quite blurring. So wherever we are struggling with texture, you just want to go in with this spoolie and then apply this product on your nose, for example, where we usually have blackheads or bigger pores around our nose, on our chin, especially those crevices and creases in the middle of our forehead. As you can see, this is instantly blurring and mattifying everything. But because we have a layer of Catrice underneath, this is just gonna mattify it ever so slightly. With these steps, your face, without any foundation, without any makeup basically, except those glowy products, already looks more feminine. And we haven't even started. That's a great start, right? If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below and I'll gladly answer you and help you out. And if you have any wishes for the next video, also feel free to comment down below and I'll gladly do it. We are glowy, we are primed, and we're ready to go in with our foundation. But when it comes to choosing our foundation, here are my top 2 drugstore foundations. The first one is from Essence, the Silky Blue Foundation. This is amazing for oily skin because it is quite mattifying, but it's not completely matte, so it doesn't look fake. Then another product that I am so fascinated by and in love with is the Bourjois foundation. This is so light on your skin. It doesn't feel like anything. It feels like you're applying a marshmallow on your face. It truly feels so good. And it has a lot of skincare ingredients that are beneficial for our skin. So with foundation, the goal is not to create a mask, but you want to actually just ever so slightly even out imperfections like redness around my nose in my case, some pimples going on currently, or just some discoloration. But this is just like a light layer. And if you apply too much of foundation, you are basically taking away from the natural dimension of the face, because with an even heavy layer of foundation, you are creating and achieving a two-dimensional flat surface for the observer's eye. So then you have to go in with a lot of contour, a lot of bronzer, a lot of blush to bring that back, but it also results in like a heavy looking makeup, which for a lot of texture, for not so feminine traits, anatomically, it just doesn't look right, and it just looks like it's too much. So be mindful when you're applying your foundation. And I love to use brushes. This is the Estee Lauder foundation brush. And I'm gonna go in with a light layer of Bourjois. 2 pumps of this foundation is more than enough, trust me. You really wanna take your time and swirl the product and tap the product into the bristles of the brush. And we want to focus the most product in the center of our face. And when we are moving away from the center of your face, the product has to shear out and has to have less coverage. This will result in way more of a natural look. You can already see the redness is gone, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing any foundation. We still have the glow that we did earlier. And whatever is left of the brush, use it on your forehead. The less product on the forehead, the better. You also want to go over your eyelids with a light layer so you get rid of any purple hues that you might have going on. And then you always want to apply whatever's left on your neck so we have like a nice and even color. If you feel like you don't have enough coverage, you need more, don't worry. When we are gonna build up with contour and bronzers and blush, we are also providing and creating more coverage. So that's why foundation doesn't have to be full coverage. You don't have to apply a lot of foundation. If that's your vibe, sure, go for it, because I know everybody has different preferences and different wishes for their end result. But in this video, we're focusing on a natural, everyday, but still glam and feminizing end result. Now that we have created an even skin tone, it's time to define our feminine features. So when it comes to a feminine face, the cheekbones are usually higher, they are fuller. Usually when it comes to the feminine face, the middle third of the feminine face is the widest, and the lower third of the feminine face is more narrow than the middle third of the face. So that means the cheekbones are wider than the jawline from the front view. And if you don't have that, and if you don't possess that, or if your thirds are equally wide, or the lower third of your face is wider, this is where all this knowledge is going to be so beneficial for you. And we are bringing back and accentuating dimension with highlighting and contouring. So again, with highlighting your face, you are adding and widening everything and projecting everything forward. But with contouring, which is creating a shadow, you are taking away from that area and you are creating basically a shadow again. And you have to use those two techniques in a complementary way. So first, what I love to do is highlight first, and we're gonna do that with concealers. I have 2 shades. One shade is in my skin tone and another shade is more brightening. So you always want to start with the tiniest amount of the skin tone shade. So that's basically the same shade as your foundation. And you want to apply that wherever you have any kind of discoloration. So if you feel like your 5 o'clock shadow is still prominent, you can go over with concealer on that area. And because it's the same shade and it's quite warm, the warm undertones are also canceling out any gray undertones. So that's just like a color wheel theory that we are incorporating in today's tutorial. And I'm just gonna apply it on this whole area. And now you wanna wait for this concealer to dry. And then with the same brush, you wanna tap the concealer. You don't wanna drag it. And in that way, it's staying in place and it's not moving anywhere. And now with the brightest shade of the concealer, we are creating and adding to that illusion of our middle third of our face appearing wider. So what that basically means, you wanna go and place the concealer at the edge of your outer corner of your eye and extend it to your hairline. And from the front, when we're gonna blend this out, this is gonna appear way wider, and we're also making our lower third of our face appear more narrow because this appears wider. And you can place it a bit lower. And then if you have any kind of wrinkles like nasolabial folds, you can apply a bit of concealer right here to make this surface appear more flat and just add brightness and adding to that feminine illusion of it all. Now the same process, you have to wait for this to dry a bit. With this technique, we have tremendously added to that feminine illusion because we have accentuated the under eye and the cheekbone tremendously. Now we have to set those liquids in place. But before we do that, we want to melt the liquids into the skin. And we are going to use a setting spray. This is also from Essence, the Glow Honey Serum Spray. So it's actually also nourishing. It smells like honey. It's not my favorite smell, but it is an amazing product. We have to set this in place with a proper powder. And I do love drugstore makeup. I do love drugstore products. I truly do. And I want some drugstore product to win me over. But nothing has won me over more than a Huda Beauty powder. And this truly will lock your makeup in place for the whole day. It will add to the longevity of your makeup, and you always want to grab a powder puff and good amount of product. You want to start by placing the product around your nose because this is where usually our makeup is always slipping and sliding, honey. And then with whatever is left on our powder puff, you move towards your under eye. You also want to blend out any creases on your eyes. You can do that with your finger easily and then just go over with a powder puff. If you do love more of a matte look, you can always use more powder. Now that our face is completely mattified, you can go in with your favorite bronzer. I love this Milani drugstore again product. You want to go in with a big fluffy brush and just swirl the brush generously in this product. Tap the excess fallout, and you want to start at the perimeter of your hairline like so, and slowly move to the center of your face with whatever product is left on the brush. So we have like a nice cheekbone and we don't have those harsh shadows. Again, if you have naturally prominent cheekbone, bronzer is all you need. You don't need contour. But if you do want to contour your face, I love the Anastasia palette. It has contour shades and bronzer shades in powder form. So something like that is amazing. I know because I'm yapping so much and providing with so much information, it feels like we're doing a lot. But in general, this could easily be like a 15 to 25 minute makeup routine at maximum. And the warmth of the bronzer will also get rid of any 5 o'clock undertones that are gray because that's the color theory put in practice. You can also apply bronzer on your chest and on your neck, so everything looks cohesive. I do love a little bit of bronzer on the forehead, and because this is so light, it does look so natural. And it's also a bit reflective, which adds to that feminine illusion. You can take a smaller brush and the same product and start in your brows and slowly bring that product down your nose, so you also are contouring or shaping your nose ever so slightly, like so, but in a very conservative way. Now for your eyes, you can take the same bronzer that you used on your face. It doesn't have to be Milani, it can be whatever bronzer you're using. It can be more matte if that's what you prefer. And then you just apply it all over your eyelid, but you want to follow your natural eye shape. So for example, to really lift your eye, you want to follow this invisible line of your lower waterline at what angle it is naturally going at. So this is like a 45-degree angle. So this is like the invisible line I'm following. And you don't want to cross that line, and you want to also place and blend the eyeshadow in the same way and at the same angle. So you are achieving a lifting effect, and a lifted look is always a feminine look. But because we're using bronzers, you actually can't mess up that much. It's almost impossible to mess up your eye shape because this is a very soft product. It's not highly pigmented, it's not patchy, and it is extremely easy to work with. And you can see the difference is subtle, but the illusion is huge. You can see that this eye is way more lifted, it's way more defined than this one. So a subtle difference, but a huge change. And you don't want to forget to apply this bronzer on your lower lash line. And if you have smaller eyes like me and you define that line right here, your eyes will appear bigger, and bigger eyes are also more feminine. Just like that. So easy, so fast, and so simple. If you want more videos like these, make sure to subscribe to my channel, and that way you are letting me know that you love these tutorials and you want more. This is where you could totally stop, apply a layer of mascara, and call it a day for an everyday makeup look. But I'm gonna go and be a bit more extra just because I love this cat eye illusion for my face shape, because it really does add to that feminine look. And in this case, I love my Makeup by Mario palette. It has a perfect mixture of basic shades that we all need for an everyday makeup look or for a very glam, intense, smoky eye. So this palette truly does have it all. And I'm gonna take a small brush. This is actually from the art store, and a dark brown shadow. And I'm just gonna create this very subtle liner. And because it is created with an eyeshadow, we are gonna blend it out with the previous brush. Just go over with a very light pressure. And this is not gonna be too intense, but we are gonna achieve that effect of a lifted eye. And you can see when I'm looking down, this side just is way more lifted and way more feminine than this side. And it just adds to that oomph of femininity that we are looking for. And if your eyes are a bit wider apart, the inner corner accentuating that ever so slightly is what it's gonna add to the illusion of your eyes appearing closer together. So just a very subtle application with a very light hand and the same brush. This was really subtle, conservative, but the difference again is amazing. You can again add just a mascara and call it a day, but if you add mascara, you definitely need to curl your lashes. And this is from Essence. It's just a basic lash curler. And we all need a lash curler in our life. And again, you can see the difference. This eye way more open than this eye because of just curling your lashes. So if you're not creating this eye look, you can just curl your lashes and your eyes are gonna appear more feminine. Now I'm gonna apply a falsie. This is from Catrice. You can go in with more of a subtle eyelash that's not as strong and prominent, but this is just what I'm choosing today for that more of a dramatic effect. So I'll be right back with the eyes completely done. And this is how the eyes look with the lashes, way more feminine, but still very soft and very natural, but in like a perfect mix of glam and natural, in my opinion, honey. We're left with some finishing touches, and blush is definitely one of them. So you wanna take, this is from MAC, a big fluffy brush, and this is one of the most important steps to add to that feminine illusion. You wanna apply the blush quite high on your cheekbone and blend it into your concealer towards the temple and keep swiping up. No matter what we're working with, this is really gonna soften our features like that. See the difference with a blush? Way more feminine. MAC blushes are so pigmented, so you have to have a light hand when you're applying them. Keep that in mind, but we're gonna accentuate our features with powder, so if you're a bit sloppy, don't worry too much. I also recommend you apply whatever is left on the brush on your forehead for that sun-kissed look and in the middle of your nose, like so. And don't forget your chin. This is also gonna take away from any kind of 5 o'clock shadow. Undertones above your lip, below your lip, like so. And if you have blush blindness, there's never too much blush. But we're not done with the blush yet. This is another product from MAC, and it's a mineralizing blush. So it has more of a reflectiveness and a reflective pigment. So we're just layering this blush on top of the previous blush, but we're placing it a bit higher. So we're bringing back that reflective glow that we love when we are feminizing our face with makeup. Now it's time for a bit more powder. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It's a very light formula, so if you have mature skin, you can skip the Huda and just use this product. You're using this powder as a brightening powder, and you are gonna place it where you placed your liquid concealer. So we are just re-exaggerating the illusion of a wider middle third, so a wider and more prominent cheekbone. Don't be afraid, because this is not a cakey formula. It's an amazingly formulated product. And just like that, we're almost done. Now it's time for your lips. And this is from NYX Cosmetics, an amazing lip liner. Again, all the products are listed down below. So for a feminine look, you can either do a sharp line or more of a round lip. Today, I'm going in and creating this round lip so it's not too defined. Where you want to overline in order to appear natural and pretty, just the center of the top lip, and the bottom lip is where you can go over your natural border. Just like that. And for the lipstick, I love the Velvet Teddy from MAC. And for that juicy look that is connected to femininity, you want to go over with a gloss. This is from Yves Saint Laurent. It's just a gloss, nothing special about it. It's like a lip oil thing. so you don't really have to splurge on stuff like that. But it does feel very nourishing, that's for sure. We're left with our brows, and this is from Catrice, just a brow pencil. And you always just want to accentuate the tail of your brow. And if you have like missing hairs or not full brows, you can add individual hair-like strokes with this pencil. It is extremely easy to work with, but I don't like to make my brows too dark, especially when I'm achieving a feminine result. If you live in a humid and hot area, use a L'Oreal Infallible spray to lock everything into your skin, but this is definitely not to be used every day because the ingredients are quite harsh for your skin, and especially if you shave, you probably have sensitive skin. This is just not great stuff in that way. And I almost forgot mascara. If you're in search of a good mascara, the L'Oreal Extensionist mascara is great because it doesn't glue your lashes together. It is just a great, universally loved mascara, and I've been obsessing over this product for a few months now. And it has a perfect applicator to get to those bottom lashes without messing up everything. And this is how you feminize your face with the right makeup products and the right techniques. I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, give this video a big like. Comment down below what was something you didn't know before you watched this video. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you won't miss out on the next upload. And until the next video, girl, don't forget that you are the baddest baddie. And I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.